Howard Gardner suggests that people learn differently based on the different intelligences that they possess. On the screen, you will see a list of 7 different intelligences that we all possess. If you're really good at being a poet or a novelist, generally you follow into the linguistic intelligence. Mathematical intelligence deals with a scientist or a mathematician. Musical intelligence, you're probably really good at composing or being a performer. Spatial intelligence, for all of those that are great with sculpting or potentially have desires to be a pilot. Kinesthetic intelligence, individuals that are very keen on understanding the way that their body functions. Interpersonal intelligence goes hand in hand with a salesperson or a teacher. And intrapersonal intelligence are individuals that have an accurate view of who they are. So at this time, you've had an opportunity to complete your learning styles quiz. There are 3 different learning styles, and at the completion of watching these videos, come back to this slide and watch the learning styles training video listed here. So let's take a moment and let's go over the 3 different learning styles. Perceptual learning differences or modalities include visual, oral, and kinesthetic learners. Learners may prefer learning in 1, 2, or all 3 modalities. Visual and mixed visual, as well as auditory, are the most common modalities, with each accounting for 30% of the U.S. population. 25% of the population prefers using the auditory modality. 15% prefers the kinesthetic or tactical modality. Visual learners learn by reading or by viewing. So for a visual learner, you will provide modeling, an opportunity for observation, an opportunity to look at the appropriate behaviors of others. Visual learners are easily distracted by visual disorder. They become impatient when extensive listening is required. So for a visual learner, this may be a hard video to watch. When you're training visual learners, think about how you can use handouts, flip charts, chalkboard, electronic presentation software to help them. Set realistic expectations for them and model real, true life behavior for the visual learner. Praise them for their work as well as them understanding what's happening around them. The next are our oral or auditory learners. They learn through hearing or speaking. They clarify their understanding by articulating what they learn. Use peer presentations, lectures, audio cassettes, as well as soundtracks to help them learn. The next are kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic learners learn by touching and doing. They are partial to action and they prefer to be engaged in movement. Engage this learner by using simulations, case studies, role playing, as well as demonstrations. Don't forget to come back and click on the video. Quiz time! The most prevalent learning style of the U.S. population is auditory. True or false? False. Visual and mixed visual and auditory are the most common modalities, with each accounting for 30% of the population. The next type of learning that we'll look at is the time learning differences. Another way to approach learning styles is to examine how a learner uses time during the learning process. Learning time differences are learning styles that can be approached by looking at the way that viewers and learners look at time. The first is the impulsive learner. Impulsive learners quickly process information and complete tasks. They're less concerned with accuracy and precision, and they work quickly with less determination. They do not work on the rough spots that may be more important for somebody that's a reflective learner. And they're not as concerned with the polished details. One way to help impulsive learners is to discourage them by not rewarding quantity over quality. Limiting time may encourage quantity when it comes to an impulsive learner. The next is a reflective learner. Reflective learners take time to process information and are concerned with accuracy and precision. Allow ample time for trainees to complete their work and set realistic objectives. Which category do you fall in when it comes to your time learning difference? Are you impulsive or are you reflective? As you're thinking about this, what are the pros and cons of both styles? In this class, you will see individuals that are impulsive as well as reflective. And so you have to make sure that you can garner both styles. The next is information processing differences. So all of us process information differently. It's one way is not neither right nor wrong. Learning styles can be approached by looking at information processing differences. This is the idea that individuals are able to grasp abstract concepts easily, while others need to see what's concrete. You will be in situations where people are able to grasp ideas step by step, while others just need the bigger picture. So we'll start with whole part learners. Whole part learners prefer having the big picture before moving into the details of the concept or the idea. They process information from the top down. Whole part learners may be anxious when it comes to understanding information if it's not sorted into multiple stages. These learners need a scheme or a way to organize big ideas before receiving detailed information. Think about trainees that are whole part learner from the concept of what will the product look like when completed before breaking it down into its various parts. Use demonstrations or other visual presentations. So for the whole part learners, the first in-class session worked well for you because you were able to see the finished product in the whole, and throughout the course, we'll break it down into parts. The next is a part whole learner. Part whole learners prefer learning the small parts or details before learning the big picture. So for instance, individuals that are part whole learners would have wanted to learn how to do a needs assessment and a task analysis before seeing what the results of a needs assessment and task analysis garner. Show the trainees the various parts that make up the whole product. Use demonstrations of other visual representation. What role does age play in learning? How does this influence the way we think about whole part learners and part whole learners, as well as impulsive learners versus reflective learners? Make sure that you have a great understanding of the differences in the way that we process learning, because at the start of class, we will look at how to create presentations based on these various learning styles. The next slide looks at the Kolb learning style. The third reading on your course reading talks about Kolb's learning styles. You have another assignment. What I want you all to do is to plot where you fall on the Kolb learning style and to bring that piece of paper with you to class on Thursday. This piece of paper will be used so that you can see where in the learning style you fall. Are you accommodating, diverging, converging, or assimilating? And where do your other group members fall? Divergers prefer observing a situation rather than taking action. Individuals that are accommodating, they learn by hands-on field experience and by trial and error. Convergers learn by analyzing problems and doing the work themselves. And assimilators learn by listening to experts and prefer sequential ordering information into logical forms. As you all are studying, answer these questions. What is the Kolb Learning Style Inventory? Why is this learning style inventory significant? and what are the differences in these styles. This chapter helps students understand the 3 general laws of learning that are relevant to the training practitioner. It helps explain and compare the concepts of pedagogy and andragogy. We looked at the different learning styles, as well as suggestions on how to apply this information to a training session. Don't forget to bring to class both of your quizzes. The first quiz showing whether or not you're auditory, kinesthetic, or visual, and the second quiz is your Kolb learning style inventory. Looking forward to seeing you all engage in conversation in the class discussion board about our reading, as well as talking a little bit about the Kolb learning style inventory. Don't forget to print out the sheet that talks about the final project and to bring your creativity and all of your ideas to class on Thursday. See you in our regularly scheduled room.